It has been a little while. Good afternoon, good evening. It's it's been weird to say the least. I feel like I had some things come up that have thrown off my rhythm, my schedule, kind of my day to day. And I think part of it also has just been the inclusion of additional cardio into my day to day routine. We are doing 45 minutes to 60 minutes of Stairmaster a day, on top of an additional amount of time stretching and making sure we're getting our steps in. So we're hitting a minimum of 10,000 steps. We are doing our additional 45 minutes of Stairmaster on top of stretching after the primary workout. So we'll get there, we'll work out, we will then stretch, and it's kind of like a downtime between before I get started on the cardio as well. So I take some minutes there. I don't track that. I primarily just try to stretch, kind of loosen up a bit. I know I should do it better, but at least doing this a little bit every day is going to help. Then we go into our Stairmaster, 45 minutes, and then it is over to the treadmill to finish up our steps. And most days, I'm now getting home around 9 p.m. And by the time that I eat, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, depending on traffic. So I'm getting home and I'm basically going to bed by the time I eat. If I don't have to do laundry or meal prep or anything else. And so I've spent minimal time on this computer. I've spent minimal time doing basically anything else but the gym and focusing on that. It's okay. If you're going through a similar period of time, or if you're like me and you like the fluctuations in time, but that's not the right wording. If you enjoy learning things and progressing and you find yourself bouncing between things, you probably have felt what I've gone through. I had this period where I was knocking out all of these things, but my workouts were probably lacking at the time. They were just probably working out and they weren't cardio and such. I've now focused on, and I feel like in the past that's been my biggest struggle, was putting a priority on things and actually prioritizing them to the point of finishing them fast and efficiently. And oftentimes I would end up bouncing between stuff before I get to finishing it, and eventually I do finish them, but it's not to the rate that maybe is efficient. That's the one thing I've been trying to do better about, is being focused. Really, I feel like I don't struggle to learn stuff. I tend to just learn and then I bounce between things. It's why instead of jumping onto the tufting, the rug tufting immediately, and I could probably sit there and just dive into it and get the at least basics of it and a decent understanding of it in a relatively short amount of time. I want, before I spend the money there, to sit on it, and I know my focus right now is the gym. My focus right now is getting this weight loss finished, getting into the shape that I want to sit at, and finding some balance in that, which is both the mental and emotional side of things. So I'm trying to make sure I get this done, do it right, and spend that time on me getting right before I make the jump into other things. I think if I can successfully do this and do all of that and maintain it, find a good maintenance zone, in an area that the gym no longer consumes 4 or 5 hours a time, and I can cut it back to like 2 hours. I mean, there's driving time, so we'll say 2.5. I can reclaim some more time to do other stuff, to dedicate to the business, to dedicate to tufting, to dedicate to whatever the next goal I decide it to be. Yes, I want to do other stuff. There's so much I want to do. There's so much I want to learn. I want to get certifications. I've been applying for jobs and I've been rejected from the jobs. I don't think I'm necessarily a bad candidate. I feel like I'm personally a really good candidate. Sure, I don't have certifications in a lot of things, but I counter that with just that I can learn the tools, and I probably know a lot of the tools. I just don't have the actual certifications for them. And I know the job market's tough, and I've got to be realistic with that, but it's just part of it, right? So, just kind of checking in. Business wise, haven't done much, haven't bought any additional cards, have just kind of not put the time into it. My time is strictly on just getting to where I feel good about myself day to day, feeling confident about myself day to day, and the such. I think that is priority number one, getting the health and everything else in check. And if I have time for other things, that follows up then. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So just a little check-in, a little deep, but, hopefully maybe it's giving you something to think about that maybe you had. I'll catch you in the next one.